Dude, when you walk into our facility, you're gonna have energy. But if you make decisions with baby energy, dude, you get baby results. Alright guys, this is day one of the Paragon Honda Bootcamp. They got 3 days of this. This is the first day, it's 5 in the morning. Yep. They're coming down here to work out. We got the coaches here, baby. And we're gonna push these guys. Evan, tell them what we got going on. Yeah, well first in the ELLIOTT group, it's so important that you put your physical health first. Really, if you can't put your physical health first, it's not gonna trickle down to your mental health, which is not gonna trickle down to your business. So for us, it's not just about the abs and looking good, it's about feeling good. It's about loving who you see in the mirror, so that way you can bring that special energy, not just back to your company, but back home to your family, back home to everybody. So physical health, mental health, and then your business will be on fire. So you're gonna see us push them. You're gonna see some uncomfortable conversations. You're gonna see us really freaking prodding at them, because a good coach is gonna get a potential out of you that you didn't know you could have. There's also gonna be hard conversations. A good coach is also gonna have hard conversations with you that you don't wanna have. And then after this workout, we're gonna go in here and lay out a 3-day blueprint of skill set, of teaching them how to sell at an even higher level. Dude, it doesn't matter if they're the #1 Honda store in the country, they're here because their leader knows that there's more potential in them. And that's a good leader. In Brian Benstock, he's like, these guys are 2s to their 10s. We're gonna get more out of them in every area. You're gonna see all of us push them collectively. We are gonna grow this next level team into the best in the world, undisputed, no matter what. But I wanna say, shout out to Brian Benstock, shout out to Ariel Munoz, shout out to the leaders that sent their people down here. Murat, man. Listen, most leaders, they're just gonna say, hey man, there's no way I could send my top guys to get out of the store for 3 days. Dude, you're so crazy. Them getting outside of the store to get this energy, inspirational things happen in inspirational places. And for them to invest in these outside resources, that's why they're the #1 team in the United States. That's why they win like they win, because they demand growth. They demand it, and they actually put their money where their mouth is. They put their energy where their mouth is. They put their time where their mouth is, and that's why they have results that most people just don't have. Stay tuned and follow. This is gonna be a fire video. We're excited to have you along the journey with us. Let's go. Let's go. It's on, baby!
Back in time, I left a part of me. I wanna see if you can try to bring it back to me.
The goal of this is, you know, this is gonna push you. Like, we're here to push you guys. Like, you guys are here because of why? Like, why are you guys here? To get better, right? And a lot of people in this world, they don't want to get better. Like, they don't, man. Like, the average person in the world right now probably changes maybe one time, maybe a year, man. Maybe a month if they're really good. But our goal is total recreation every day. And I'm gonna explain what that is, man. That's pushing through these mental barriers. How many people do you guys see out there in the world just breaking every day? Quitting, going back to the starting line. 30, 40 years old, and got nothing to show for it, and they always just go back. They just go back. They just go back. They find a way to just wreck their life. They find a way to just destroy their life. The goal is, in this business, you guys are the standard. I don't know if you guys know how many people look at y'all's company, but it's everybody. Okay, so like, when I got in the car business, I looked at Paragon, I'm like, dude, these guys are the best, Evan. You see how they're wearing these suits, they're ringing them bells, what did we go do? We went and got the suits, we went and got the bells.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? You gotta have inside of that suit, you gotta have the person. And the person makes the suit, the person makes the store, the leader makes the store. You guys, right? You guys are the energy, you guys are the fire, you guys are the passion, you guys are all of it. The reason why we're here is Brian said, hey man, I wanna take these guys to the next level. Listen man, I'll tell you man, I didn't have a lot of people in the car business that believed in me, that wanted to invest in me. Have you guys worked at other stores? Did they want you to get better? They want you to make more money? Brian's like, dude, these guys gotta make more money. They gotta make more money. They gotta go to the next level. How do we make more money? How do we make more money, guys?
Some value.
How do we make more money? Anybody? We gotta be better at what we do, but we gotta be better in all areas. Who wants to get more money but then look in the mirror not like who they see, right? Who wants to get more money but then like, dude, there's something missing right here, or there's something missing in their heart, right? So there's gonna be some things in this training, maybe just not in just this exact session, it could be throughout your entire trip here, but I think it's cool when somebody invests in you and they say, hey man, I believe in you, dude, and I'm gonna send you somewhere where I know you can get better, where I know you can grow, where I know you can, you know, take your life from here to here. Now, what you have to think about is, nothing's gonna change unless who changes? Unless you change, right? Nobody's gonna grow unless you grow. Brian said, man, I'm not bringing no pouches, I'm bringing guys that wanna get it. I'm bringing guys that wanna break their bloodline. I'm bringing guys that wanna bring an energy to this store and an energy to this success. Because if you don't have energy, what do you got? You got fucking nothing, bro. I see people running around making decisions, like acting like they're gonna make a decision like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna be great. I think I'm gonna be great. I'm over here like, I'm gonna be the best. I wanna be the fucking standard. I wanna live at a level that most of these motherfuckers can't imagine. But if you make decisions with baby energy, dude, you get baby results. So today, what I'm hoping for you guys is, as we start out, is we keep, you know, our decision of changing at the top of this level, but also keeping the decision of the whole world's looking at like what you guys do. So you guys are gonna have to increase, right? We're gonna kick this off. You guys have to take it to the next level. You guys seem a little tired. You guys a little tired? Huh? You guys ready? You guys ready? Sure. All right, so let's kick this bitch off.
Bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I burn through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon and dub it. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems.
All right, guys. Workout number 1. It's 5 a.m. at the Lions Den. We've got Paragon here for 3 days. So very first thing that we need to do is to really understand that in the Lions Den and what we believe is physical, mental, business. First, you got to get your physical health right. That'll trickle down to your mental health. And if your mental health is on fire, your business is going to be on fire. Sales is 90, if not 95% mentality and mindset. So the goal is a lot of sales trainers, a lot of people out there, a lot of just the normal, average everybody. You see everybody in the world, they're out of shape, they're tired, they got no passion, they got no energy. And a lot of people, they chase money and they lose their family, they lose their health along the journey. We're not just sales training. We're life coaching people how to get the life that they truly want. And there's another level inside of all of us. You just need a good coach that can rip it out. So right now, we're going through just a good workout in the Lions Den early. And then part 2, we'll be over doing skill set all day with these guys, training on objection handling, closing, lead generation, phone calls, all of the normal stuff. But really, success for us starts right here and taking care of our mindset. Let's go. The energy right now with you guys is a little dead and a little tired. And you guys are a little sleepy, bro. And you may not like the way that I'm talking to you. My job isn't for you guys to like anything that you say, okay? I don't give a what you think of me. What I want to do is provoke some change inside of you to go find the next level inside of yourself. But if you come into our doors with ego, with entitlement, with arrogance, with broke arrogance, then you're never gonna win. Okay? Never gonna win. And it might be your ego that's killing you. It might be your entitlement. It might be the fact that when other people look at you, maybe you're too cool to do shit. Maybe you're too cool like the guy with the shin splints, or he got the competition. Dude, fuck all that. Are we a team?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and some of you guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's your attitude. I don't know if you're just sleepy. I don't know if you're jet lagged. I don't know if you drank last night. I don't know if you give a shit like we give a shit. If you're not gonna give it all you got, just go get in the van. Just go get in the van, and then we'll tell them that you weren't ready to compete. Our goal today is to first show you physically where you need to go. John, you lost 300 pounds. You were 500 pounds, right? Is that not crazy, guys? Okay, but when I'm talking to John, he doesn't know what his next level is. He's lost on trying to figure out his next direction, right? That's why you're here. You're here for a breakthrough. You're here to find some people that can believe in you and show you and guide you and show you the way. Sure. How is he gonna change if some of you guys aren't gonna change around him? You know the hardest thing to do in your dealership is to change because other people don't want to see you change. Maybe I should have just flown John out here because he's being vulnerable and honest with me. I want to see all of you guys win. Anthony, I want to see you win. But if you guys can't come into this thing growth-minded, like hell yeah, bro, what workout do I got to do? Okay, what mindset are these guys talking about? These guys were selling 60, 70 cars. These guys were doing this. These guys, they built a 9-figure company in 4 years. If they know something, I got to know what that is. But you know what? You know what people care about? Moral authority. Everybody say it back to me. Moral authority. Do you know what that means? That means when you say some shit, you're actually doing it. What do you look like? Do people judge you all the time? Do people judge you when they walk in the store? Yeah. Do you want people to judge you and say, man, that guy's actually keeping his word? That guy's got discipline. That guy's got standards. Everybody say standards. Standards. Okay, today we're just raising our standards. We're coming together as a team and we're gonna raise our freaking standards. We're not gonna stay the same. But if other people like this guy's freaking late, what's your name? Isaiah. All right, step outside. I'll get to you in a few minutes, bro. Fucking embarrassing. Embarrassing, guys. This is fucking terrible. We're gonna reset. We're gonna reset how we do this. We're gonna reset our attitudes. We're gonna reset our energy. You guys feel me? Okay, so when I ask you guys to do something, I'm not asking you to be a show off. I don't even give a f this camera. I don't care about it. I'm asking you because I want to see when you leave here, you have the blueprint and the game plan for you to go back and change your life, okay? And the reason I know how to do it is because thousands of people have came through this door and thousands of people have left with a brand new life. Does anybody want a new life? Or do you want the same life? Okay, but then there's these motherfuckers that walk through this door and they got this look on their face like they know it all, or they're too freaking cool, or they're too cool to let their ego down and actually learn something. Please don't walk around with a dumbass look on your face like, why am I here? Please walk around with those eyes that are excited. Like, bro, I can't believe I'm in Arizona in the United States of America selling cars at the #1 Honda store in the world, and they flew me down here to learn from the #1 car salesman that ever sold cars and a badass team. Show me that you got the energy to want to win. Repeat after me. I set the tone. I set the tone. Anthony, come up here. I need you to bring better energy, bro. I need you to bring better energy, bro. Let's go. Listen, dude, and if you don't want it, just tell me you guys you don't want it, because I'm going to get you uncomfortable. Okay, I'm going to get you uncomfortable in front of each other. I'm going to get you uncomfortable with objections and closing and all that shit. But first, it's going to come down to when you walk in our facility, you're going to have energy. You guys feel me? Yes. Okay, ready? Repeat after me. I set the tone. I set the tone. I set the tone. I set the tone. I set the standard. I set the standard. I set the standard. I set the standard.
The club with some wines and I pipe down. Shawty got me out too high. I be stepping on the beach in some white ones. Can't control it, I think I'm too fly.
Now I'm seeing Calvin's energy. Anthony's opening up. Like, we're going to this next gear. But the most important things that you can be on a sales team that I look for, and that I look for in like a teammate, that I look for in all you guys, is #1 thing, you got to be dependable. Everybody say dependable. Dependable. Okay, we got to be able to rely on the person next to us, man. We got to be able to rely on the people this week that we can change with. So dependable is important. I also like to have people that are skilled. So #2 is skilled for me. You guys say skilled. Skilled. Okay, so throughout the whole week, you guys are going to learn so much damn skill, it's going to blow your mind. Yeah. Some of the things that you're doing, and then some of the things maybe you were doing years ago, and maybe you forgot to do, and it's just gonna be a good wake-up call. And then there's gonna be some like innovative things that are gonna help you get on fire. The best thing that you can do as a veteran is to get re-inspired by like a new skill set, a new belief, a new mindset, a new habit. Just think when you learned like a new word track and you gotta go out and close somebody. It reignited your like fire for the game, right? Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. But then the most important thing that I look for, which is #3 for me, is selflessness. Everybody say selfless. Selfless. Okay, so that means I saw some guys start to get together and start to help each other. First it kind of felt like it felt kind of segmented. It felt like people were off kind of doing their own thing. And now I'm feeling like the energy on the team, we're all coming together. So we're gonna grow as a culture. We're gonna grow as a team, and culture is not built back at Paragon. It's built right here. The biggest impact we can have is all of you guys being present while we're here and actually in the moment. Problem, which you've heard Andy, you've heard Jackie probably talk about it multiple times, is most people just aren't present where they're at. So they're just thinking about all this other shit, the kids back home, the deals that they're missing out. Dude, if you were just here and you were really with us, you're gonna find something, John, it's gonna change your whole freaking life. So it's so important that you guys give us all you got. Can you guys do that?
Yeah. Sure.
Can you guys give us all you got for a couple of days, yes or no?
Yes.
Can you guys give us all you got for a couple of days, yes or no?
Yes.
All right, that's all we want. There's a lot of killers. If we brought each one of your skills out, your strengths, and we combined you guys all together, it would create the baddest ass salesperson in the world. But we gotta value the person next to each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's what I got, Ian. I'm fired up now. Now that I'm not pissed off.
Well, dude, me and my brother just get pissed off because we were just broke kids that just really wanted to win, right? So when we don't see people that want to win or want to win at a high level, it confuses us because we just came from a family that it was me and him, and it was us against the world. You know what I mean? And it was like when we could find a skill in the car business, a lot of people in the car business, they would look at like, they'd be like, they just want to make judgments of it. Just think how it wouldn't work, right? We just thought everything could work. And then we just had a mentality that we were so coachable that we could get to 50, 60 cars, that we could change our family's entire future. If you taught us one thing, if you said, hey, I got one thing that you could do in your business, I'm like, tell me, bro. Tell me, man. Tell me. Because a lot of the little things that added up to be big things in my life, there were little things that added up to be big things. Does that make sense? Yes. Like a lot of little things, like one habit, one thing, dude. So when we say it and we're aggressive and we're a little crazy, it's because we just want to hit you in the heart so you can go get more for your family. As I'm running around with you and I'm talking about your kids, the things that you have going on at home, I mean, this shit means something. Here's the problem in any business. When you're at home or you're in the dealership, you carry a certain mentality, you carry a certain fence. Like you're like, I ain't letting this guy know who I am. Maybe you've been burned in the past. Yep. Maybe like you operate as the lone wolf. Maybe you're just by yourself trying to figure your life out. I want to urge you here to just put that shit down, man. If you really can understand who you are today isn't going to be who you are 3 years from now, 2 years from now. Evan, how many guys have come in here as sales managers, salespeople, and we've helped them become general managers, owners, or wherever you're going to go? One day there's going to be an even bigger opportunity for you, and you're either going to be ready or you won't be. Hey guys, it's the Macklin Twins. Let's go. You can join our free training where you're going to see thousands of 1%ers just like you in our community, training on personal development, sales, mindset, and greatness. Yes. Join us. It's free. Click the link in the description, ELLIOTT Training Academy. We'll see you on the inside. Let's go, baby. Click the link. Here's how this goes. You walk by somebody, or Brian, he's ready to do something with you, and you don't have that progress in your eyes. You don't look like you really want it. You're maybe not that coachable, and you miss that one opportunity that could have changed the people who look up to you, right? Me and my brother, we got nephews, kids, all these people who care about us. You guys got people that are counting on you guys to make it? Do you guys? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, man, I got people counting on me, man. So in order for me to become that person that I want to be, dude, I got to get crazy, man. I got to stay crazy. Some of you guys, you got to get 50 times crazier. Yep. Like 50 times crazier. Your battery needs to run 100 times hotter. Dude, you got kids, bro. You got kids. You got to change or you're fucked. Dude, you are not far away from having a heart attack and dying. For real. How many people have y'all seen in the car business where it ruins their life? How many people go to 300, 400, 500 pounds? Evan, what was the general manager we got a call from last week? We told him every fucking day, we said, bro, you got kids. You got to change. You got to grow. And he said, dude, he just didn't want it. Hey, stop, man. That shit's old. The skill. I want to learn the objections. And you know what, dude? The other day he died. And the other day he left behind 3 kids, okay? I'm here to tell you, man, like what we're trying to do with you guys, some of you guys, it's like telling you the color's green and you're blind and you're like, I don't get it, man. I just want to do this. Some of the thoughts that you have, the negativities, the ways that you judge yourself, the ways that you can act cool in public, but there's something that you're dealing with inside. Do we all got something we're dealing with inside? Yes. Okay, so some of those things, they can be corrected in one conversation, believe it or not. Think of a giant that you had in your life that you were like, man, there's no way I'm going to make it out of this. Like, you're like, fuck, man, like this is crazy. You guys ever had one of those giants and then you beat it and it actually wasn't that big of a giant? Like David versus Goliath. Little David's ass went out there with a little slingshot. Bow! Bashed that fucking Goliath on his head, and then what happened, dude? He walked in there with faith. He walked in there with hope. He walked in there with belief that that could happen. There was 1,000 other Israelites that were standing there saying, David, you're too fucking young. You're too much of a little kid. That's all the same shit that happens in a dealer, that happens everywhere you go. They're saying, John, it's not for you. You're not going to get it. Me and him walked around with fucking a picture of a Nissan store on our phones for 13 years. We walked around saying the lines, and we walked around saying we're going to create this shit. And they would always tell us to calm the fuck down. They'd always tell us to chill the fuck out. You know what we did? We never did, man. We always stayed dreaming. Some of you, man, our goal is to re-inspire that dream. Maybe to re-inspire that faith. Maybe to remind you who the fuck you were supposed to be, dude. Some of you are doing a great job at conforming to what the fucking world wants from you. Some of you are doing a great job. You're just fitting in a fucking bucket. You're selling 10 cars and that's it. That's not who God meant you to be, dude. God meant you to be fucking crazy, man, to be a leader. When I was talking about when we first started, hey man, Paragon inspired us, I was looking at y'all's company saying, looking for somebody that was great. I was looking around and me and my brother found that team, Brian, that team, the Ariel, the Mariano, those guys when they were maybe 10 years ago, and it inspired us to go win, right? So sometimes it's not about you, dude. It's not about you. It's about, there's people looking up to you guys no matter what. I was driving to work today. My kid was at the door at 5:30 in the morning. You know what he's telling me? He was crying. Dad, I just want to go to work with you. I just want to go inspire these people. I want to go push them. He's 5 years old, dude. You know what I mean? He's catching something from me, right? Who has kids in this building? Okay, some of you, you're gonna have kids. I wanted to be ready when I had kids that my kid could see something within me. So today, I'm hoping we plant a seed within you. And then I'm hoping that you'll water that seed, man. I'm hoping you'll take the car business out of you. I'm hoping you'll take everything to you and you'll just be ready to have that seed. Because if you plant a seed in cement, you think that shit's gonna grow? Nope. It ain't gonna grow, dude. Some of you guys, you walked in here like cement. And you walked in here like arrogance, a little ego. I'm just telling you, man, that's cool, dude. We bury people like that, straight up. Because those people, their dealers never grow, their financials never grow. They look at their bank statement and they're like, why won't it grow? Well, it didn't grow because of your face, bro.
Or it might grow a little bit, but you're not happy internally because you're not becoming the person that you're supposed to be. And the only way you do that is with new people and new information.
New people and new information. So, dude, this week, we are going to pressure you guys. Some of you guys are not, I hope you don't like it a lot of the time. Because if you don't like it, what does that typically mean?
You're uncomfortable.
That means it's working, right? So like we're not going to be your friends. We are going to be your friends. We're not going to be your friends. We're going to be angry. You're going to be angry. We all might cry. We might yell. We might throw some shit. But like that's how coaching should be, right? So you guys are going to climb a mountain tomorrow too. I'm telling you. So if you do anything to hinder this mountain, like you go home and you have 10 beers tonight, you want to take off, I'd be sitting there drinking as much water as I could today, because when you get to that top of that mountain tomorrow at 9 o'clock, it's gonna be 100 degrees, and then you got to come down. Getting up, it ain't that fucking. Coming down is a lot harder. Some of you guys might puss out tomorrow. We'll see. You know what I mean? Some of you guys might give up. Brian's asking us to really push you guys. He's asking us to really show you guys who you can be, and I think that's really cool. So tomorrow we're gonna go up this mountain. Today we're gonna go up this mountain. The next day we're gonna go up this mountain, and I'm excited for it because I know that this is your one opportunity. Some of you guys were praying for an opportunity. You were praying to God, God, I want to beat this fucking demon. I want to get this new money. And then God's like, all right, bitch, let's go. And then now you're like, no. I mean, I was just kidding. I didn't mean I wanted to do the burpees. I didn't mean I wanted to push myself. I didn't mean I wanted to do the mountain, God. And God's like, get your ass out of here. Come over here, bro. He's like, you want to do it? And you're like, yeah. And he's like, dude, he gets the blessing. Like, that's just how blessings work. You know what I mean? All right, guys, put it in here. Let's gather up. Let's gather up. All right, Paragon on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, Paragon!
Cracking jokes. I'm looking for the map to hope. You see that? Been making a whole lot of changes. Wrote a song about that. You should play it. I get scared when I walk on these stages. I look at the crowd and see so many faces. Yeah, that's when I start to get anxious. That's when my thoughts can be dangerous. That's when I put on my makeup and drown in self-hatred. Forget what I'm saying and where'd the beat go? Oh, ain't that something? Drums came in, you ain't see that coming. Hands on my head, can't tell me nothing. Got a taste of the fame, it'll pump my stomach.
Guys, the number one rule in the Lions is energy. So I want to see that you guys got the right energy, that you carry the right attitude, that you carry the right mindset, and you got the right passion. Paragon team, you guys got passion?
Yeah!
Elliott team, you guys got passion? That one real quick. All right, together, let's show ourselves, number one, but let's show each other what real passion, real intensity looks like, what it looks like to run the baddest ass teams in the damn world.
Yep.
So, everybody repeat on me and let's do the baddest ass sales warrior.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, come in, ready?
Get in here,
I'm an elite sales warrior!
I'm an elite sales warrior!
I will destroy my competition!
I will destroy my competition!
I have no limits!
I have no limits!
I have no ego!
I have no ego!
No entitlement!
I have no entitlement!
I believe I can close every bar!
I believe I can close every bar!
Everybody like a warrior!
I just want to talk like a warrior!
I'm ready to kick some ass!
I'm ready to kick some ass! Let's go!
All right, guys, we just got done with the physical fitness part. This boot camp of greatness, it's going down.
Let's go.
Guys, first we start in the gym because you're gonna have to have the energy. You're gonna have to have the passion to be number one in the world. And you're gonna have to have that edge. And a lot of people don't have that edge, man. They don't like who they see in the mirror, or they're not experiencing that progress. When you experience progress in your mind, in your body, in your heart, in your soul, you grow. So right now they just experience that in their body. They're like, damn, okay, there's another level. Like, let's go. And now they're getting ready to go to the skill set
concept part and to the mindset part. So Evan, what are they gonna learn in this next part? All right, man, they're gonna learn how to have unstoppable skill sets. We're gonna just call them the kill sets. These guys are gonna learn how to master a stranger, build better relationships, do pro level follow-up that's non-transactional, that's transformational. These guys are gonna learn how to market and brand themselves and generate leads. It's gonna be ridiculous, man. I'm fired up. It's gonna be great. Yep, there's good, there's great, and there's unstoppable. They're going to unstoppable levels. And it's crazy because, you know, most sales teams that actually need the training don't do the training. Most sales teams that, you know, don't need the training, like Paragon Honda, dude, they're always training. They're always obsessed with going to the next level. They're always obsessed with finding the next level and the next edge. While some people are just laying down flat on their asses, not doing anything, this team is moving closer to a massive 2025. The choices that you make today are going to be the progress that you experience 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. These are the seeds of greatness that we're here to water, and it's happening in all areas of their life. We are taking a multi-dimensional approach to get them to peak levels of performance, and it's happening today. Let's go kill it. That's the closer. The guy that's closed on him is the most dangerous closer in the room. The guy that believes in him is the most dangerous closer in the room. The guy that can self-correct in this room today is worth the most money. You could be the youngest, you could be the brokest, you could be the ugliest, you could be the stupidest. It doesn't matter. I was the brokest, I was not the most handsome, I wasn't the fastest, I wasn't the strongest, I wasn't the most qualified, but I was the motherfucker that could change. While all the other people figured out excuses, limitations, I was the person that said, I'm going to figure this out. And that person is dangerous. That person is the best closer. Close isn't you just walk into an interaction and close them up and have some sharp ass word. A close is, are you closed on you? Do you do things differently inside of your business that nobody in the fucking world does? Nobody. If you want to get paid like nobody else gets paid, you got to do things that nobody else is doing. Whoever believes the most wins. We talked about that. Self-esteem. A lot of people have low self-esteem. You know why? They're not different than everybody else. They're not trying harder than everybody else. They're not keeping promises to themselves. They know secretly when they look in the mirror that this problem right here, they're not solving it. If you want, honestly, all of us right now, we're after one thing, happiness. You want to be happy, man. Like that's what you really want. You want freedom. You want to be happy. Well, in order to be happy, you got to have a good self-esteem, because even if you have the most money, but you don't have the most, you're not happy with you. I mean, does it really matter? I mean, I get guys, we coach guys that are billionaires that are the most empty humans on the planet. You know why? Because they might have kept their promises in the business arena, but they didn't keep their promises in the health arena. Remember, mind, body, spirit? They didn't keep their promises in the spiritual arena. They didn't keep their promises in the family arena. They didn't keep their promises in the heart arena. So I want you to evaluate those 4 things. And by the way, if you see that there's a hole in one of them, fix them, okay? Self-belief. Guys, how key is that to sales? Self-confidence. All of this goes together and makes the elite closer. All of that goes together and makes the elite closer, okay? All right, let's get into it. So whoever cares the most wins. We just talked about that. How you make them feel important, significant, heard, seen. Let's go over heard. When somebody's talking, do you look like you care? Remember, back to the lens of how people view you. My mom, she's sitting there at the end of my pool this morning and she's like talking to me, but I'm not there. I'll tell you why. I was thinking about you guys. Oh, what are they going to eat? Did we get food? Did we do this? Did we do that? And my mom's sitting there having a moment. Mm-hmm. And she's telling me how proud she is of me, but I don't even hear her. You know why? Because I'm hearing what I want to hear. I'm hearing my own brain talk. Now remember, self-awareness is key. So I just literally, I had written down on my hand this morning, you're exactly where you should be. Because my problem sometimes is I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over there, and I'm over there. Time is not the most important resource on the planet. Focus is, right? So since I struggle with focus, I remind myself on my hand every day to focus. Every fucking day. Literally, only reason I didn't do it today, right now, is because I was rushing. But you should remind yourself. So I sat there with my mom. I stopped thinking about you guys for a second, stopped thinking about what food you guys were going to eat, and I just sat there for 10 minutes and held her hand. And I was like, all right, talk. You know what my mom started doing? Crying, talking, telling me all the things that she's been wanting to say. Huh?
That would have made me cry.
Yeah, I was just emotional, man. And you know what? Like all the things you go through to have like one of those moments, you could skip it just because you were thinking about something else that you shouldn't even be thinking about right now, right? Like, dude, I worked my whole life for my mom to experience that one moment, and then she wanted to have the moment. I wasn't even there in the moment.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, but sometimes like that's your customers too, right? Like they've maybe worked their way to have this experience to buy a car, but when they're talking, you want to be right. You want to be heard. You want to tell them how smart you are. You want to tell them what you need to tell them, when really your face should be indicating that you want to listen. Like, tell me a little bit more about that. Like, listen, this part in sales is where people got to master. You might have a hole where when somebody's talking, your face doesn't look interested. My face typically looks like this a lot. Like I'm like ready to go, right? So, but imagine when I look like this. All right, come up here. You come up here. Let me show you guys him for a second. All right, like look. All right, when he's thinking, he has a personality where he's very logical. He's thinking about it. He's processing it, and he's really working hard on it, right? I can tell. All of you guys have different personality traits. There's only really 4 personalities. I could go over them with all of you. He processes information totally different than you. He processes information on an emotional level where he's like, oh, that's exciting. Like, I think I could do that. Like, let's go, right? Like, and you're probably a very decisive person, right? The way that you show up. He probably shows up pretty decisive, right? He shows up a little bit more indecisive. He's trying to figure it out. He's trying to walk through how it works, how it happens, and he's a little bit more logical. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I could tell. It's just in you, right? So when you're with a customer, his face, look, see how he's processing right now? Okay? Hey, check this out. That could be the face that's with a customer that's killing a car deal. Okay? Now, imagine this. Okay, smile. You have to process information like that too, okay? When my wife's talking, I process information kind of like him. I'm like, and she's like, fuck's wrong with you? You're not getting it. And I'm like, oh shit, she doesn't realize that I do get it and that I do care. My face just looks like I don't care. Yeah. You guys with me? Yeah. Is that not a problem? Okay. You might be a guy that processes information good, but you might have that one day where you're trying to make more car deals and you don't realize that you're repelling the car deals just because of the way your eyes look. You know, your eyes talk too, right? Your eyes talk, your smile talks, your cheek talks, your energy talks. All that shit talks for you, right? A lot of people haven't mastered this part. His energy talks for him. How many cars are you selling?
Last month I did 23.
Okay, that's a great job, bro. That's a great job. That means you work hard. That means you know how to close, you know how to do customer service. But the next level for you might be in the way that people see that energy. They might be in the way that we show up for people is massive, right? So we might show up like a little bit like logical when we might need to show up a little bit more emotional for that person. You know, do some people, I know some of you guys probably struggle to show up like an emotional version of yourself, right? You know what I mean? Like in sales, they got to feel like it's like natural. Like you're like, oh, what's up, man? How you doing? We took these personality trait tests, and everybody in my company was thinking that I was going to have this one that equates to basically you like to talk and motivate and all this stuff. I actually don't like to do this part. I like to go upstairs, be in my office, be by myself, and talk to nobody and just work really hard. But if I show up that way, is that going to suit me? Yes or no? No, not when I got a team, not when I'm in sales, not when I'm doing this. So what I've learned, people don't understand my personality trait. Andy had the exact same test as me, and his wife was like, that can't be true. And I'm like, Jackie, we've been telling you this. This, for us, when we're out here, we have to go do this because we're results driven. So since I'm results driven, I show up, I do what I need to do to try to drive results in you, but then when I go home, I don't talk to nobody. You know why? Because I'm very, what's the word when you're introverted? I'm very like, just kind of like to myself, like I'm just thinking a lot, right? But when I'm with customers, I got to channel that. A lot of people don't think that like charisma is channeled. Like you can channel jokes, you can channel charisma, you can channel fun. Bro, but if you think you can't, you can't. So like with you, what we got to work on is you coming alive, bro. Like, and by the way, you know how you learn to do it? You just do it. When you do it, you get an experience back, probably a sale, and then you get evidence and then you change. So if you want to change your identity, here's how you change your identity. This is the recipe. If there's something that I'm talking about right now that you know you can change, and you go do it, and then you get a result back, you're going to be like, oh my God, and then you go towards the result because we're all results driven, right? You guys tracking me? So if it's like, hey man, I know I should work on my body. Well, what if he goes and loses 20 pounds in the next 60 days? What do you think is going to happen to him?
it starts to become a lifestyle, and he starts to go to that results because he starts to crave what that feels like, right? So if there's something that you're identifying as I'm talking, you might need to run towards that, get some evidence back that it can change, okay? So listen, this is super important. You gotta make them feel that you're in it with them, right? You gotta make them feel. You gotta make them feel important. You gotta make them feel significant. You gotta make them feel heard. You gotta make them feel seen. Dude, this is not only just good for sales, but what else is this good for, guys? Life, relationships. Guys, you know how many times it took me like a lot of things, I kind of had to practice on a lot of other people, you know what I mean? And I'm still trying to figure it out, but make them feel heard, make them feel important. Like, dude, if you took some of this into your relationship, how many of you guys are in a relationship? Raise your hand. All of you guys, except him? Yep. Shit, dude. Hey, now we know we got to get him closing more deals or whatever. No, that's okay. All right, so in your relationship, what if you did that more often? I'm going to tell you guys a secret. The person with the best home life is typically the best salesperson in the store. So if you have a really good home life, then it drives your business life. But if you have a really shitty home life, it will destroy your business life. Does that make sense? So what's the value in having just a totally shitty, dude, and I've lived it both ways, so I actually can kind of tell from market fucking research, because I've literally had the worst home life, and then I've had a great home life, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop doing this in order to get this. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to just touch the stove. Like, I got to go touch the stove and make sure the fucker's hot. I'm like, it's hot. Damn it. Some people are like, oh, he touched it, I ain't going to touch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's smart people. Me, I got to go burn myself, right? So I burned myself enough to understand that if you don't do this in a relationship or with customers, well, then you don't really create a brand. Everybody wants the brand I got. I'm telling you, if you're in car sales and you want to sell 30, 40 cars a month without ever having to call anybody, if your customers don't feel this from you, they're never going to stick with you. Your goal when you're with a customer should be that you make them feel this way every single time. The reason why Brian likes us, I'll be honest with you, how we make him feel when he's with us, nobody else in the world does. I'm telling you, when we went to Dallas with him, I assure you, every little thing was planned out. The way that we approached Brian, the way that we treated him, and the way that we walked him through what our process was, right? Like, nothing wasn't true. The way we paid the bill, the way we fought for the bill, the way we paid the waiter, once we seen how he operated, we paid the bill before we even got in the restaurant, because we knew who he was, right? You got to be able to identify who your people are, and it's kind of a trap. When you're with me, dude, I had them send me over profiles of all you guys. Ask Marat. Everything. I said, what's their weaknesses? What's their strengths? Who are they? Send me pictures. Like, I already know a lot about you guys, right? Because I'm very tactical. I do my research. I want to know. When you got a customer that's coming in, can you do research on them? Yeah. Let's say you get a lead. Could you go to LinkedIn and figure out what they're into? And not maybe talk about it, but in your mind, know a little bit about this person. He's got 2 kids. He works really hard in business. This guy goes outdoors. Like, a lot of this in sales, people don't do.
It's crazy that you said that. I was listening to a finance manager have a discussion with another manager, and he literally told me that's what he did in order for him to make a deal with the customer. He went back and he's seen all the notes that the customer had with the previous.
Yep. You can see how they engage. Yep. You can see what they do. You can see what they like, and I mean, it just helps you to better assist people. But look, you don't have to convince customers to buy your product. You don't have to convince the customer your product is the best. The customer must believe that you believe that your product is the best. Okay, your customers must believe that you believe. Sales and persuasion isn't like I say a cute word track. It's that, dude, when I say it, I really believe it, okay? It's that when I'm talking to them, I really believe in me, man. It's when I'm talking to them, I really believe in my store. When I'm talking to them and they're talking about their family, I'm really actually interested in what they're saying about their family, right? So this believe in your product can also be replaced with believe in your company, believe in you. You guys have a really good company. Listen, no company is perfect. You understand that, right? Our company, not perfect. There's a million things that we could change. There's a million things that we're fighting to change. But we know we have a good product. We know we have a good brand. We know we have a good business, okay? So when I talk to people, I'm talking to them with the force of like, dude, we're different. But if you're not doing different experiences, that customer service tip that I just told you, hey, when they say something, you should do something for them. That's powerful, man. I was with a customer the other day and he said, man, his son was and he was like, Dad, can I get these shoes? And I was just sitting next to him and I heard him talking about these shoes that his son wanted. I heard what the shoe was, Nike ID, blah, blah, blah. I immediately left that interaction. His dad was like, hey, you'll get him when you work for him. You're doing a really good job in school. You're doing a really good job. Me and your mom will think about him. Well, listen, I walked out of that interaction and I walked right over to Melanie. I said, hey, sit down, help me find these shoes. We're gonna not only get him the shoes, but we're gonna customize them to have their brand on them. Like, you know how you can customize them on Nike.com? I sent him those Nike IDs. You know what he did? Dude, he almost broke down in tears on the phone. He goes, dude, how did you know that? I'm aware. I'm listening, dude. You know what happened in that interaction? The guy ended up, what he spent and what he did with us is irrelevant because I don't even look at it as commission. I look at it as a friendship. Amateurs look at daily commissions and that's all they care about. People like me, like professional salespeople, they're looking at how long we can be friends. We're looking at the fortune is in the friendship. That's where it's at, right? Like the fortune is in the friendship. And if you want people just referring you business, you got to do things that are a little bit different. My brother sent our sales team a picture or a video of, he was on the phone with a guy. The guy was talking to him about his 2 daughters. And he's like, his daughters were asking for crumble cookie in the background. They're like, Dad, can we get crumble cookie? He's like, no, we're not eating no more crumble cookie. He's like, we'll get it in a little bit, maybe tomorrow, blah, 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 right? But he's hearing kind of what the little girls are saying. What's the most important thing to this guy? His little girls, man. But listen, it's not about closing a deal. It's not our intention. Our intention is to make him feel different than anybody else. My brother gets off the phone, orders crumble cookie to his house. I'll have him show you the video. The dad goes, he goes, hey girls, here's crumble cookie. It's from Evan. They don't even know who Evan is. The girls are like, oh my God, crumble cookie. Oh my God. I mean, they've had crumble cookie 1,000 times, but how excited do kids get, right? What did that make him feel like? Amazing. Okay? My brother was closing him up on some like 25 grand package or something, right? And the guy goes, run my card, sends his card. You'll see the text. I'll have him show it to you. So you can, because I like real shit. I like to see shit. I like to see receipts. So I'll have him show you. When he comes up here, show him. He still has the receipt. So the guy goes, run my card. Those are the most expensive cookies we've ever eaten. Isn't that cool? But it wasn't even the intention of trying to get him to do something. It was just the intention of letting him know that we're different than everybody else, right? So we're going to talk a lot about that as we go through the sales process, because I've got tactical tips that when I show you some of these tactical tips on how to actually take that customer service to the next level, if you did that one thing that I'm going to teach you, there's no way you don't sell 5 to 10 more a month. There's no way. And I'm going to get into that. I'll get into that side tactically here in a bit, okay? Because I'm going to go through customer service and customer experience. And you're literally not going to know what to do. You're going to go on and go sell something and try it out by the end of tomorrow, because it'll be on tomorrow's presentation. But Grandmaster Communicator, they make it easy to say yes to, hard to say no to, and they make it the customer's idea. They're not running around telling them all of this shit. Listen, it's a feeling. Sales, they buy because it's logical and emotional. Emotional is they're at the dealer. Logical is because when I was with you and you were talking, I was listening, so I knew how to close you based on what you said, not what I want you to do, but based on what you said. Like, here's an example. You know, we're going to talk about framing today, and a lot of salespeople miss this one interaction. You know, I meet him and he's like, Calvin's like, you know, I'm like, hey Calvin, how you doing, man? Nice to meet you. Welcome to Paragon Honda. How can I help you? Get up here, Calvin. And he's like, oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm like, oh, perfect, man. What kind of car are you here to take a look at?
Honda Odyssey.
Honda Odyssey. Oh, that's great, man. What are you going to be using that car for? You got kids? Family?
Yeah, 6 kids.
6 kids, man. Come over here, dude. That's amazing, dude. Man, God is good, man. That's crazy. 6 kids, man. How old? What are the ranges? Because that's like a whole graph, man. I don't even know if you know all 6 of them ages. That's wild.
6 kids.
Yeah.
I know my wife might see this.
Yeah.
She might think that I got like a second family out here in Arizona.
Yeah.
Just got it.
Oh, Calvin, yeah. Calvin's like, hey, wife, I really don't have them. Yeah. How many kids you got, Calvin?
2.
You got 2 kids? Yeah. That's crazy. What are their ages?
6 and 11.
6 and 11. Cool, man. Typically, when you guys come into a dealership, did your wife just send you down here? How do you guys typically make decisions as a family? Did she kind of tell you which one to look at today? How's that work for you guys?
So it was between the Odyssey or the Passport.
Okay,
I'm leaning
awesome.
towards the Passport. I want to check out the Odyssey. I don't know too much about it.
Has she checked out any of them?
She saw it on the road.
Yeah, she saw it on the road?
And I said, all right, let me see how I can make my wife
Dude,
happy.
you're amazing, dude. I love that. Hey, typically when you guys are purchasing a car, because I'm assuming you guys have probably purchased a car together, like in the past, right?
Yeah.
Typically, is it you that comes and goes through everything, or do we
Yeah, I
need to
do
get her
everything.
involved in something? Maybe should we send her pictures today? How do you think?
We could do that.
Okay, perfect. See, what I can do right here is if I know his wife's, if I know their buying habits, can I help him better? Okay, so I could say, hey, typically is it somebody else that helps you make decisions? He's like, my wife. I'm like, how do y'all typically purchase vehicles? Does she just send you down here and then that's how it works, or how does it work? And then he's like, yeah, my wife hates to come down to dealers. I'm like, well, I don't blame her, dude. So what's most important to her, the color? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, where do you live? He's like, I live 8 blocks away. I'm like, you want to just pull it around there and show it to her? And he's like, that's a great idea, right? But how you make it their idea is you actually get to know what they want and what they want to say and like how they actually buy, right? Do you think most people have bought a car that come into your store? A lot of the times, right? Okay, so could we ask him a question and frame him and say, hey man, typically how do you guys buy? You know, how do you guys typically come in? Right? Yeah. And then he goes, well, I typically do this, I typically do this. And they lead themselves down a rabbit hole. And here's what happens. If I could draw a castle, imagine a castle right here, square, and there's all these perfect bricks. And then there's one little crack in the castle. Everybody draw a square right now. Draw a square, and then draw lines, like straight lines, and then draw like a little crack right here in the castle and circle it. Circle that crack in the castle, okay? I don't know how to do it on this crazy ass thing. I'd like to show you, but draw a little crack in that castle. You guys know what I'm talking about? What the customers will do in order to be a master communicator and a master closer, when they say something like, yeah, my wife she's already typically made a lot of the decisions. She looked online. She just wants to make sure it fits in our budget and all these things. Salespeople, what they typically do is they skip over all of that because they're thinking, how do I respond intelligently? Where do I want to take this guy? Like, you got to tell your mind to shut up for a second. Actually be where your feet are. Like, be in that conversation with him. Make it fun. Make it exciting. Don't be thinking about talking. Don't be thinking about where you're going to take him. Be thinking about what is he really saying right now. You know, I watched a salesperson. I was sitting on a showroom floor and I was just evaluating these guys, and I watched a customer come in and they said, man, I had a 2017 Rogue and I just totaled it. And you know what the salesperson said? Salesperson said, oh, did you like that Rogue? You know, and he's missing the sale right there and he has no fucking clue.
Glad you're okay.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey man, oh my God, I'm glad you're okay. Where did this happen? And then that's my chance to really connect with them. That's my chance to actually close them based on the emotion that I make them feel because I'm interested. So I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, I'm fine. Their airbags went off. I'm good. I'm like, I don't even get into the car. I don't even care. I'm an actual human that wants to know if they're okay. And she's telling me about the injury. And I'm like, hey, when I pull up a car, do I need to put the seat any certain way? Do I need to accommodate you in any certain way? Is there anything that I need to do to help you out in any certain way? She's like, no, I'm good. You're so caring. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would do, right? Well, what would that tell me? She would be able to tell me a lot right there, because here's what happens. When you start making them talk about them, they start disclosing things, they start saying things that they don't realize that they're saying. And what happens in that interaction is they give you the crack into that castle. They give you the way in, and now you can blow up that whole castle because now you've got something that you can actually talk to them about. You know what you can actually talk about. How can you close a customer if you don't get them talking, or if you don't get them feeling heard, or if you don't even understand any of that stuff, right? Go ahead, you have a question?
What you was doing was really good, because when you was building rapport with him about his wife,
Yeah.
there's no way, and I'm pretty sure we all been through it, where you're in a pencil and you're trying to close a deal,
Yeah.
and then they hit you with the
Yeah, I got to talk to my wife. And you're like, oh, fuck.
You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you make a really good point. Yeah, because if you get to the end of a conversation and they're like, I got to talk to my wife, and you don't know anything about their relationship, how the hell are you going to close them? You can't make it his idea. Imagine I get to the end of that interaction and I'm like, he's like, I got to talk to my wife. I'm like, Steve, come on, man. You already told me at the beginning of this conversation that you typically make the decision. Let's just be honest with each other. Tell me exactly what it is. I don't have to handle a word track. I can have a real conversation with my boy. I could be like, bro, it has to come down to the payment or something right here. And then he's like, yeah, you're right, bro. She wanted me to be at 500. We're at 700. And then can I actually work on the real objection? Yeah, but what if I don't really understand his wife? What if I really don't understand him? And then like he's saying, I get to that end of the line and then he's like, Or it can reverse it. Imagine it's like a 19-year-old kid, and up front you're like, hey, he's kind of young, and you're like, hey, is somebody else helping you out to make these decisions? And then he's like, my mom. I'm like, oh, tell me about your mom. And he starts telling me my mom. Like, imagine if I started talking about my mom. You guys have heard me talk about my mom. I almost cry every time I talk about my mom. Imagine I start saying, yeah, my mom, she works really hard, she's down here, and I start getting to know you through that interaction. And then at the end of it, I'm like, I got to talk to my mom. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't got, dude, you're a man. Dude, I'm out, bro. But I'm like, hey, listen, dude. Hey, before we even get here, should we give your mom a call? Do you think we should take the car over to your mom? Like, how do you think this is going to work best for you and your mom? And then he makes the decision. He's like, yeah, man, if we took it over to my mom and like you talked to her too, and me and you both talked to her, like we could make this happen. Like I enroll them in the decision-making process because honestly, that's where my heart is at too. I don't have to, like, people get me wrong. They see me online yelling at people and Andy, and they don't realize that when I'm sitting with somebody, I actually really care about them. And like, the only reason I'm yelling at people online is because I really give a fuck about them and they don't fucking listen, so I gotta fucking just, right? But when I'm with them, if I'm talking to them like that, I'm like, yeah, man, so your mom means everything. Tell me about your mom. Like, do you think that he's gonna tell you some things that are gonna help you advance the sale forward? Yeah, but salespeople are so fucking one-sided where all they care about is themselves. Remember, my North Star of when I enter in an interaction is I care about making a friend with this person. No matter how jaded, jagged, mad, upset they are, I'm going to unfuck all of those things that they are going to go, that they have in their mind, because I know that if I was hanging out with them on a Saturday and we got to know each other, we'd be talking like friends, right? And so if I could get them talking like friends today, no matter what they think is going to happen, I will get them talking like friends. I will get some form of familiarity with them. Why? Because I'm also not talking to you like this. I'm not like, tell me about Paragon Honda. This is Ian. How can I help you? Yes, let's sit over here. Let's go through the... I'm like, what's up, man? How you doing, dude? Oh, man, you and your family look great. What's your kid's name? You know, if you ever have a kid and they're standing here and they're like 5, move your hand every time they try to hit your hand. They'll be like, you know what I mean? And then, see, it's the same thing, dude. It's like, it's predictable success. You can predict success if you really know how people operate. And how do people operate? They want to be seen, heard. They want to feel important. Those are all human needs. So if they don't feel that from you, they're naturally not going to say yes unless it's just you have the right car or they want to buy from your dealership. See, you guys, one thing that's dangerous in your store is you guys are kind of like Alabama, where you already have a system that works because they created the system that works. Okay? So it's like, you don't even have to be good at Paragon Honda. Typically, if you just can fog the fucking mirror and make somebody feel good, you can sell 20, okay? But if you really become good at human behavior and advancing the sale and really playing with your heart and become a better you, I mean, dude, you should be able to go to 40 like that. You know what I mean? And then there's some things that I can talk to you about in scaling, but I'm not gonna do that right now. But there's some ways that if you know how to sell 35, 40 cars by yourself, I can teach you ways that you can sell 60. It becomes not selling anymore, it becomes a process. And it becomes like, how do you fill the pipeline and then get out of activity that doesn't suit you, like delivering cars, like anything that doesn't suit actually selling a car deal, you employ somebody to do some of that shit. And I'll teach you that at another time. Don't worry about that, okay? So I can teach you that, but you have to get really good at this part. All right, you are a public speaker. You speak for a living. Every single one of you are born and you talk, but are people interested when you're talking? Does your voice go up and down? Do you nod your head? Do you communicate like, oh, this makes sense, man? Oh yeah, I got you. Oh man, like, do you sound like you're alive, or do you just sound like monotone and I'm here to do my job and go home and you know, just here? Those guys never make it, man. You know, a lot of us guys, we're emotional, man, but we don't even play with our emotions at work unless they're just negative. I'm like, I'm excited, man. I'm going up and down, and tell me about that, man. No way. You kidding me? Man, and when I'm talking to them, I'm at my very best, dude. I am constantly pursuing my very best. And when you're doing that and you have that progress in your life, they can see it in you. Can you guys go in anywhere and see somebody that is in progress in their life? Like, you're like, have you guys ever bought anything and paid way too much for it? Ever? Like, you're like, fuck, man, you came across a good salesman that made you feel good and shit. My wife the other day, she calls me like 3 times. So like, that's like, let me step out, and I was in the middle of something, right? So remember, I'm used to answering the phone and being like, what's up? What do you want? Like, let's get right to it. You know what I mean? Because that's how I am. So when I answer the phone, I got to be like, hey, babe, how are you? What's going on? You know, I'm not busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I answer the phone and then she goes, oh, we got this door-to-door guy here. And I'm like, she's probably sitting him down, sales coaching him, fracturing him, talking some shit. Like, that's how she is. And she goes, and I want to buy this and she's sold and she's telling me all these things. She's like, he's the nicest kid. You should meet him. He's watched the Elliott group online and he's a killer and he's on the roof now. And I'm like, what is he on the roof for? You know what I mean? She's like, oh, he's looking at this, he's looking at that. And I'm like, all right, I'll be over there in 30 minutes, you know? And my house is like 4 seconds that way. So I finish the meeting, I go over there, and when I meet this kid, you know, the way he introduces himself, it's like he's having the best day of his life. He's like, what's up, dude? And I'm like, yo, what are you doing here, bro? I already know, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, hey, that's all customers, right? And he's like, oh, dude, oh my God, hey, dude, you look so nice. I'm like, hey, quit fucking with me. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, dude, I was just saying, man, by the way, your wife and the kids that you got, dude, that is a blessing. Like, one day I'm gonna have something like that. And that's when I'll be truly happy. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And so I start talking to him. I start saying shit. I start losing track of where I am because he's making me feel good. He's making me feel good. I didn't even want to feel good. And then I'm lost. And I'm like, all right, so what do you sell, bro? And he's like, well, you need an alarm. If somebody jumped your back porch right now, nobody could see you on that side. I was showing her a little bit about that. I don't want to make you feel sold. If you guys are busy, and he just starts going into this deal, right? At the end of it, we sign up for an alarm, we sign up for fucking solar, we sign up for this, we sign up for that, you know, then he comes back the next day and he's like, hey man, you know, we did this, I'm like, dude, I ended up buying like 8 things from the kid. My bill went up like $600. I'm like, babe, what did we buy yesterday from that kid? She's like, well, it's not even a lot of stuff. I'm like, you're the most analytical person and you didn't even I'm like, this kid put the freak on us, man. He literally came in there, confused the shit out of us, gave us a lot of energy and then next thing you know, we went home like, I can't believe like what did we just do, you know? It's like going to the bar, like, you know, it's like how I met her. She was like, shit, dude, like, yeah, we're in love now. I'm like, shit, you know what I mean? You know? So like, But what did he have? Dude, he had the charisma, he had the heart. I kept telling him no, and he kept saying like, oh yeah, you're right, man, here. And he just was having a good time with it, right? Half the time, we're not having a good time with it, and then we wonder why they're not closing, right? So like, that kid literally sold, and here's the deal. I think I'm a hard customer, but I'm the easiest sell when the guy's a professional, right? Like all of you guys, if you came across a true professional saber, you're a laydown. But you're gonna give a little resistance right away. And then if they give into that resistance or they're weak, what are you gonna do? You're gonna walk all over them and you're gonna judge their performance, right? But imagine if they're having the greatest time of their life and they're breaking down your fence, they're giving you some real compliments, not bullshit compliments, but real compliments. You're gonna love it, man, and you're naturally gonna wanna say yes, right? So you gotta think of that, okay? So you're a public speaker. When you get in front of people, how you make them feel is who you are. Again, like we said with Jonathan, I wanted to tell you about your micro skills. So smiling with your eyes. When I seen that kid, I seen something in him. Like I was like, damn, no wonder she's getting closed by this kid, right? Because this kid just looks like he is having a great day, okay? A lot of you guys right now, same as me, 95% of you could probably think more about what you don't have than what you do have. You know what I mean? So like, I don't have this. I don't have the house I want. I don't have this. I don't have that. Man, you really truly got to think about everything that you have in your life at one time you were praying for. Remember that? Remember when you didn't have those 2 kids and you were praying for them? You're praying to have healthy kids. Remember that? Remember when you guys didn't have a job? Hey, I remember when I got my first apartment. Anybody got their first apartment? Remember that? Dude, my first apartment was a shithole, dude. It was like a 400 square foot deal, dude. The laundry and shit was like in the same, it was like connected to where you slept. Like, it's like just a little box. The dishwasher was right here, so you just only had to go right over here, dude. I had this like store on top of it, so you could just hear people like running up and down and shit, dude. It was weird, man. It was in a corner of downtown. It was a weird place to be, okay? But I felt so good about that apartment, man, because it was my first apartment, right? And I was like, man, one day I'm gonna have this house. But then I get this house and I'm like thinking about the next one, right? Instead of just being like, bro, look at what all I've accomplished. Like, look at you guys. You guys are in suits, you look nice, you're healthy, you got a chance to be even better. If you approach things that way, do you naturally do better? Yes. If you approach things like today, like, oh man, I'm at 9 cars and I should be at 28. Are you gonna get to 28? No, dude, it's an attitude of gratitude. It's an attitude of altitude, dude. If your attitude is up here and your altitude is up here and you're in offensive posture, not defensive, cold, tired little bitch face, you're naturally gonna go get it, right? That's why when I'm training somebody and I see him like slouching, I'm like, that guy stands no chance, because when you're gonna go make a decision, you gotta make it with good energy. Because if you don't make it with good energy, then it ain't gonna be a good decision. But if you make decisions like, oh yeah, man, I know it, man, I believe in it, and you make it with emotion, naturally, dude, you're gonna be better. You're gonna make a better decision. Okay, smiling with your eyes, smiling while you're speaking, man, like, ah, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this might sound so simple, but I walk around and guys are like, they're on their showroom floor and they're like, yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, man, oh, for real? Oh yeah, oh, tell me about that. What is that? What is that? What is that? Why questions? Humor, laughing. Some of you guys, this might be the number one thing you will need to work on. Who's dry like bland bread sometimes? Jonathan, right here, having the most fun on the showroom floor. Nobody. Okay, could he work on his fun meter? Yes. Raise your hand if you think he could work on his fun meter. Okay, that's not a bad thing. Jonathan, listen, right now you're not coachable.
Okay, why?
Okay, because listen, Jonathan, listen to me. All right, guys, other question. Is Jonathan a good guy? Yes. Does he care a lot? Yes. Does he do a good job? Yes. Okay, are you guys just saying he can channel another level of fun out of him? Okay, is he pretty serious because he wants to get the job done? Are those all good things and good qualities to have? Okay, I am the same as him. Okay, I've got to tell myself to have charisma. I've got to tell myself to have fun. I've literally got to show up and write on my hand, have fun today. Because if I don't, I'm very, very logical and very, very just intense on what I'm doing, right? Okay, so if somebody in the room says, hey, Ian doesn't have as much fun, I naturally say, hey, fuck you, dude. Hey, that's not me, and that's not how it is, just like him, okay? So listen, some of you guys, remember, I've been going at him a lot too, right? I've gone at all of you guys, right? But I'm like, hey, right there, you got a good heart, but you got to channel another level of energy. He's not over there like, oh, no, I got the best fucking energy in the world. Because he ain't gonna grow that way, okay? So Jonathan, they think that you can channel another level of fun and humor. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay? That's not it. All right, stand up, Jonathan. Stand up. Put your book down.
Customer or when I'm not with a customer?
Both, maybe. Maybe both. Put your book down. Put your book down.
No, I'm saying because when I have a customer in front of me, it's different. But
okay, put your book down.
I guess I can.
Okay, put your book down. Put your book down.
Not so much fun.
Put your book down. Put your book down. Say, guys, I'm coachable.
I'm coachable.
Okay, now say this. If you guys think that I can get better, then I'm gonna make that an effort. I'm gonna make it an effort.
Okay, if you guys think that I can get better, then I'll make a good effort to do so.
And guys, I'm fully receiving of what you're saying.
I'm fully receiving of what you're saying.
I need to get more. I need to get more humor.
I need to get more humor.
And a lot of you guys need to get better looking.
What he said.
See, you got to say it, dude. You got to get that humor going. All right, listen. All right. One of the first steps to growing and learning is, listen, if we don't identify a problem, can we fix it?
No.
Okay, what does he need to work on?
Smiling more.
I agree. When you don't smile, you look like a fucking serial killer, bro. Totally. I know I do. Okay? Huh? Hey, here, get up here. Hey, when he doesn't smile, he looks like he's fucking just like he's like one of those, like the hitman, bro. That's what I was looking for.
Finance manager. The finance manager calls you that.
Yeah, dude. He looks like he's gonna just kill you, bro. But when he's smiling, smile. Bro, you look great, dude. All right. So his energy is really intense, right? So what else does he need to work on?
Tonality.
Tonality? Can you bring it up? Because you're kind of just even kilter, like boom, boom, boom. Okay, so maybe you just need to bring it up. All right, you come up here. All right, what does he need to work on? Guys, what does he need to work on?
Aggressiveness.
He's a little too nice?
Yeah, too soft.
He's too soft?
Too soft. Way too soft.
Okay, what else?
Way too many cars to be too soft.
How many cars did you sell last month?
Last month was not a good month. 20
Last
cars.
month for us three wasn't.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not a good month.
Okay, good. So, but we got to get you a little bit more aggressive.
A little more aggressive. I feel like that's what I need to work on.
Okay, good.
As well, I feel.
Now I'm very
He's very low.
I'm kind of like the smiling with the eyes, smiling when speaking eye contact. That's me.
Okay, you got to learn to take control, because if you don't take control, then they're going to walk on you, right? And if you don't start to create that authority and be able to do that, then you're going to find that a lot of the customers are going to walk all over you. So you might need to just channel a little bit more of that. But do you see how we all got little areas that we could work on? All right, who's really good at like taking control and being aggressive? Yeah. Okay, this guy? Yeah, okay, so come up here.
Very aggressive.
Okay, so if he's aggressive and some of you guys aren't, see, here's what happens in a company. Because we're next to each other all day and we're kind of competing with each other and shit like that, we don't value the guy that's next to us and be like, hey bro, you're really good at something. Okay, what is he really good at? What is he really good at? Customer service.
Very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable. Okay, so if you're not knowledgeable, you don't have that good customer service or the word track, could you get it from him? Could you spend time with him? Could you understand that from him? Check this out, guys. So what he's talking about right now, you have to do. Remember when I said the lens that people see you through, the lens that my mom sees me through, the lens that Brian sees me through, the lens that your partners see you through? People see you a certain way. When you guys came in, I saw you a certain way. I saw on him a lot of arrogance. I'm being honest with you. I was like, this guy's a little arrogant. Like, he's a little cocky. He's a little bit.
A little bit.
Hey, guys, am I being honest though?
I'm very good at what I do.
I know, but if you don't know how you're perceived, but listen, guys, listen, this is a growing moment. If you don't know how you're perceived by people and those around you, you could repel opportunities, you could repel sales, you could repel certain things. He didn't know that that's what people would think of him. So you might have to this is the most, if you actually understand what I'm saying, it could be the most growth moment in your life. He has to look and say, hey, what do people think of me? And you know what losers do? They're like, fuck what people think of me. Now I understand that. Some people, they're just gonna think whatever they think, and like, I don't value their opinion. But when you have a circle of guys that you actually do value their opinion, what they're saying is the truth, no matter what. No matter what you think of you, bro, he could think something, and what he's saying, there is some truth to that, right? And if it hurts, it's probably really the truth, okay? So what I want you guys to do is, as you guys are doing that meeting that you guys are doing, just really be open-minded to it. Because remember when I opened the meeting and I said that guy told me something and I didn't like it, but I knew it was the truth. And then I said, I don't like that. But did I have loser dialogue where I was like, I ain't gonna go do that? Or did I have winner dialogue and be like, hey man, that gives me a chance to actually win at a higher level because they said it, right? Okay, all right, have a seat. All right, good job, guys. I love that. Give it up for these guys. Give it up for them. All right, because I got to roll. I have a meeting in 5 minutes. My brother's going to come down here and switch you guys, and then I'll be back. So I want to go over a couple of things. Melanie, will you make sure that Zoom's set up?
Already done.
Okay. All right. Presentation strategies. Guys, the way you present something is the way they perceive it. Some of you, if you're going in with cold energy, or if you're going in like, I don't know, they're going to do this. You guys ever get a pencil and it's like 3 times as much as you know that they want to pay? And then you go in already thinking they ain't going to sign up on it? It doesn't do you any justice not to believe in it, okay? Listen, have you guys ever been to a church and the pastor looks like he doesn't really believe in what he's saying? He might have lost his way in God or something like that, or been around a leader. Yeah, he might be up there and being like, hey, you can believe, you can do whatever. And you're like, this guy don't believe, right? I went to a church where I could physically see the pastor lose his way. Right? Like he was saying things that you could tell like the guy was fighting something and he wasn't believing in the word, what he was telling people. He wasn't living it, right? So in presentation, same thing, dude. If you walk in and you got stale baby energy and you're like, blah, you're like, oh yeah, it's this. Do you think that they're going to want to move forward? Absolutely not. The way you present it is the way the client perceives it. Where you are present matters. It's an unfair and tactical advantage. If you're present in that moment, you're not thinking about everything else that's going on in your life, your kids, your wife, this problem, the bills are due. Dude, listen, it is a superpower to be present. Superpower. When you're present in that moment, dude, customers can feel it. It's a feeling. It's a feeling like, this guy's with me, man. This guy's with me. Some of you guys probably do that really well. He's like, I'm good at my job. Well, then you understand being super present in that moment. Like nothing else matters. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure that that's you. If it's not you, you got to identify it. Frame the client's brain to think differently. Be in control and guide them guide the thinking for them with deadly communication. Dude, this part is what we've been talking about the whole time. When you're with them, you're saying, hey man, tell me a little bit about your last buying experience. Tell me a little bit about, dude, you're in a Honda out front. Where did you purchase that car? He says, I purchased it at XYZ Honda. I'm like, dude, tell me about that experience there. I mean, have you guys ever asked that question and then they unravel and they're like, oh my God, that last dealership, they were horrible. They did this, they did this, they did this. Well, that tells you what not to do. Listen, he's like, the manager came out and talked to me and did this and this and that. I know how to handle them based on asking them the questions and framing them how to think. Super important, okay? So what's written will be retained. As you guys are going along through the day, I want you to think about that. If you're writing something down, then you're gonna go back and be able to study it. You guys should go back later on tonight and just share a couple of things that are on your heart. I really love that you guys just said that you guys are meeting at home, you know, at the night times outside of here and going over that. That's super important. What is persuasion? We talked about this. Transfer of emotion. If you're not feeling any emotion, if you're just dead, or you see people in your store that don't have that emotion, no wonder they're not selling. If you guys are gonna go back and create proteges, you better make sure that they are working on that emotion. And how do you get emotion? Bro, you're working on yourself, your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit, you're feeding all of that. I sit down with them and I say, what do you do when you're outside of here? They're like, I drink with my buddies. Get fucking rid of them, dude. You need to be in the gym. You need to be reading this book. I'm gonna check in with you on this book. Dude, you need to be reading a couple scriptures in the Bible, dude. We gotta feed your emotion. You look dead, you look tired, you look scared, you look weak, you look fearful, you look doubtful, you have all these things. I can see it right in your eyes. We're gonna get rid of that shit, dude. And listen, can they really get rid of it? Yeah. But nobody's teaching people this. Nobody's teaching them, hey bro, this is the shit you're dealing with. If you correct it, you understand that you've lived a life a certain way. If you live this way and you remove some things and you add some things, your whole life changes like that. Overnight, bro, overnight. What you put in your mind, what you're putting in your body, what you're putting in your spirit, all of it matters and it shapes an actual person. And if you want to transfer emotion, you gotta have some emotion. You gotta have some motion in your life. Making the client feel what you feel. Dude, everything I've talked about is that buying state. Are people gonna buy when they're in a good state or a bad state? Good state. Good, but are they gonna come in a good state? No, they're gonna come in with their guard up, dude. They're gonna come in judging you. They're gonna come in thinking you're a robber, a cheat, a steal. Like, go to a Starbucks and tell me you're a car salesman. What are they gonna think of you? All kinds of bad shit, right? When they meet you, what do they feel like? Do they feel like, dude, you know, they're 60 years old and they feel like you're like their grandson because you're so warm and cool and amazing? Or they feel like you're just an asshole? You know what I mean? Look at the lens. Remember the lens that we keep talking about. How do your customers view you? How do your customers view your customer service experience? How do your managers see you taking care of people? You know, like, isn't that important? You think your manager is going to do more or less for you when they see how you view people, how you view your customer service experience? I mean, isn't that freaking tremendously important? Listen, if Brian walks on the showroom floor, how he sees you lighten up with a customer, you think he walks by and sees salespeople with their hands in their pockets, kind of interested, kind of pulling up a car? Or do you think he wants to see people that are like, oh my God, come around this Honda right here. Check out this shit. You know, they want to get a show worth paying for. Right now, I know some of you guys are giving a show worth paying for because your numbers say it. Okay, Melanie, how many more minutes we got?
You have 1 minute till the call starts.
All right, just start the call. Paint pictures, tell stories, words are godlike, okay? Sell situations, sell experiences, sell things that people are going through. Listen, man, I was just with a customer and he was just saying the same thing as you. Here's what he found out about the interest rate. And I can go in and I can third party him about interest rate. Dude, he had an 800 credit score. He was not happy about the interest rate just like you are. And I can say, listen, what he learned is this is the best interest rate, but it's also the best time to buy a car because the used car price is at an all-time high and the new car price is at an all-time low in the last 3 years. So you're buying at this pivotal point where you're able to get the most money, you're able to get the best possible buying price. Listen, this little price on the car, the actual total price, you can refinance that and get a lower rate, which is super important, but he just didn't know that information. Kind of like you, he's smart, he's got a great credit score, but listen, can I third party that selling situation, you know? Yeah, I can third party and make it like, hey dude, you're not gonna believe this, man. I was just with a doctor. He was saying the same thing. And you know why he actually said yes? You know why that customer said yes? Because he realized that his trade price was high and his new car price was low. And so his overall buying price is the lowest that it's been in the last 3 years. So what he came to understand is paying 6% or 7% versus 3% isn't a whole lot, but he's gonna refinance that down the line. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if I say it like, and if I say it with doubt, if I say it with fear, if I say it like not communicating with emotion, do you think that they're going to believe it? No. That's why when a closer goes in, or when a guy that's really confident goes in, his confidence overrides it, but your arrogance can't override it. It has to be like a warm coaching feeling where we're like on the same mission. Does that make sense? Where I'm like this. Oh yeah, let me introduce you to a new thought. Could I tell you something?
It says the same thing you said.
Yeah, and he might just got a little more swag or just a little bit like different vibe of it, okay? I ain't got time for it, right? Because if you just got time for complainers, bro, it's a disease, bro. It is a disease to complain. It's a disease to whine. It's a disease to bitch. And what people don't understand is then when customers come in and you ain't living that way, they feel it. They feel it. And so it's like, bro, I got to be cleansed of all of that. So I ain't got time for it, dude. I ain't got time to talk about it. The lowest frequency in the world is to talk about other people. Truly, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Somebody walks in here and they're like, hey, man, I got to tell you what this guy did upstairs. I might listen for a second to see if they have a solution. And if they don't have a solution, I'm going to let them know right away. Hey, you got a solution? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're saying shit about this other person, but do you got a solution to help them? No? Get the fuck out of my face. And then I walk off. And they're like, that was weird. I didn't like that. I'm like, cool, I don't care if you like it, dude. Listen, dude, I don't want to be caught in the 8-car hand circle. You know what the 8-car hand circle does? They sit around and talk about what Tommy's doing and what this guy's doing, what that guy's doing. Dude, I ain't got time for that, bro. I'm like, listen, I love you guys. Hey, you guys do that shit. And I just keep moving. Honestly, dude, it's the best for my mentality, because if my mentality starts getting in there with them, you know what I like to do? I'll join in 10 times fucking harder, because I'm fucking extreme. So if we're talking about somebody, I'm going to talk a fucking lot about them. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just got to move on. All right, so best attitude on the planet. We ain't talking about shit. Delusional belief. This one right here is one of the keys to sales that a lot of people don't understand. When that customer comes in, are they here to buy?
Yes.
Okay, they ain't here to kick tires, bro. You'll see all the sales guys be like, oh, they're here to kick tires. They're looking at 5 more. The fuck are you talking about, dude? They've probably looked at 3. They've probably looked at 5. They've probably looked on the internet. You're just sold on you not selling them, and so then you convert to them versus you converting them to us. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, you don't think he's here to buy? You're stupid, man. Give me that customer. I go over there and I do everything that we've been training on today. Everything that you guys do, but don't get caught in they're not gonna buy. Don't get caught in it, man. Just believe that they're all here to buy. And even if they leave, no matter what, you have to have delusional belief in your follow-up. You got to be the guy that just like sends a video and is like, hey, dude, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for coming in today. Number one, you made my day, dude. Watching you with your beautiful family, 2 kids. I'm a dad, bro. Honestly, you inspired me to go home today and be a better dad. Love you, man. Thank you. Peace. How's that for a follow-up message? That's a follow-up message, man. I might meet some young, hardworking kid and I might be like, hey, man, hey, number one, dude, the fact that you came in and gave us the shot at earning your business today, dude, that means everything to me. Hey, I want to tell you, there's not a lot of hardworking kids your age, dude. I'm 34, you're 19. I heard you talking about work, how you operate. Shit, we want to hire your ass down here, dude. You're a savage, man. Keep that shit up, man. Proud of you. Boom. How's that for a follow-up message, man? Listen, dude, I'm not talking with my mind. I'm talking with my heart. I'm talking with my belief. And then I'm talking to them in a way where if they go across the street and talk to Skippy the Punk, bro, they're gonna be dying to come back. Like they're gonna be dying to come back to me. So think about your delusional belief. It's in everything you do. Ability to master a stranger and make people love you. Super easy. If they see it in you and they see you loving yourself, taking good care of yourself, naturally your conversions are gonna go up, okay? So it has to do with the way you work out. It also has to do with the way you feed your mind. Remember, we talked about the 4 parts to a human: mind, body, soul, heart. If you're out of alignment in one of those 1 or 4 areas, if you bring them together, they're gonna see you believing in you. And when they see that, they're gonna be like, I just like this guy, man. I don't know what it is about him. Number four, then the other steps come in. Then all these other steps will come in. But the road to the sale is these ones, the other ones that are gonna come in like meet, greet, fact, find, qualify, all this other shit. If you don't have these up front, you ain't really got it, dude. Like you're just kind of hoping to win. See, I think if you did these ones, success, and you know the other steps, success is predictable. A good salesperson knows the sales process. They know meet and greet, fact, find, qualify. They know all this shit. But a great salesperson knows where they're at in the sales process. So if a guy comes in and he's like, hey man, I don't want to drive. Do you not drive him? Do you not take him around?
Yeah, we
Yeah, but how many salespeople are like, oh yeah, let's just go in and work the numbers, right? Their manager's not looking, whatever. You know, they're trying to sidestep the process, right? So if you had the best attitude, if you have all of those things, and then he says, hey man, you know, dude, I like you. I get it, man. I don't want to drive. I'm like, hey, no big deal, man. Here's how we're gonna do it, okay? I got you, bro. I'm gonna pull the car up real quick. I just want you to make sure that it's the right one. I want you to sit in it and we'll go from there. Is that cool? Yeah. I walk outside. I pull the car up because I know that he needs to go on this fucking drive, right? I'm like, hey, I pull it up. He sits in it. I'm like, cool, dude. Hey, what we got to do is we just got to take it one block. Just make sure that everything works out. Is that cool? We can do that? And he's like, if I believe it, you think he's going to do it? You think he's going to say no? No, he's going to say yes, and he's going to move down that sales process. But I'm not going to tell him, bro, you got to do this. I'm going to say, bro, here, sit in it. Oh, you like that shit? Hey, all right, cool. Let's keep going, right? And then put him back onto that sales process. I'm not going over sales process, but there's a million ways that salespeople get stuck getting off that sales process, right? Do customers want to necessarily go down the sales process? No? Is it our job to make it fun along that sales process? Make it exciting? Like, hey, dude, come over here. Check this out. All right, listen, I got one idea. Let's drive one block. And then let's just make sure that as it's going over the bumps and everything, we cool. Good? Boom. Roll. Road to the sale, though. I don't want you guys thinking about just the average road to the sale. I want you thinking about this when you go home. And I want you to know the enemy don't want you to have a good attitude. He don't, bro. He wants you thinking about all the wrong shit when that customer's in front of you. He doesn't want you fully activated. He doesn't want you positive. He wants you fucking angry. He wants you mad. He wants you thinking about bullshit. What's your job when you're in the store? Think about this, man. Think about all the fun, bro. Dude, literally, man. Me and Evan used to literally, like, when the store's energy would be weird, you know what we'd go do? We'd go grab water balloons and have a water balloon fight right on the fucking showroom floor. I'm serious. You can actually go see Facebook videos. You know why? We didn't care, man. We were like, bro, we're going to have fun. You guys are sounding a little stale. We're about to do a water balloon fight. They're like, what? And we just start throwing water. I'm not telling y'all to go do a water balloon fight. But I'm just telling you, hey, can y'all mix the energy up in the store if it's a little stale? Can y'all make a race outside or something and like have fun? Yeah. Sometimes you got to get together and you got to raise the energy. Our revenue was like at a record low here, and we took everybody out and we did fucking egg toss, and then it was the biggest day we ever had. Yeah, we literally went and got a bunch of eggs, and everybody's perspective was a little off, but you guys are leaders, right? So we were like, hey man, can we get together and let's make an activity, right? So we got together, we got eggs and we did egg toss. You know where you have to step back? And then, y'all know what that is? All right, so like there's one guy, you throw an egg and then you step back. And then next thing you know, you're like far, far away, right? And you're throwing an egg and trying to catch it across the room. After that one strategy, everybody went back and had the best day ever. Like what changed? Their mind. They stopped focusing on all the selling and all the other bullshit, and they started having fun. So sometimes, remember we said the person that can self-correct is worth the most money. Sometimes you got to trick yourself into a new way of thinking. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta just do that by yourself and go out back in the lot and do 20 burpees and change your freaking state. Jacob's gonna handle objections. I'm not even gonna go over objections real quick. I'm gonna go over this, moral authority. You know, the more attractive you are, and this isn't just physically attractive, but the more attractive you are as a salesperson, the more money you're gonna make. And we've talked a lot about this today. We've talked a lot about the way that your frequency is attractive. People want to do business with energy. And I'm not talking about over-the-top enthusiasm. That's not what I'm talking about. If you come in and your energy's a 50 and their energy's a 2, you think they're going to buy? No. If you come in and their energy's a 2, but yours is a 2, do you think that they're going to be happy and buy? I don't believe so. Unless it's a very logical sale with zero emotion, which is not why people buy. But if your energy's a 5 and theirs is a 2, and it's not so crazy, but they can graduate up and go up a little level, do you think that they're going to be happier and want to do business with you? Yeah. Okay. So do we got to mirror our customer? Yeah, a little bit, but we don't want to mirror them into just being tired, and we want to be like just a little bit above them so they can graduate with us. Does that make sense? But not super unreachable energy, right? But if I'm calling somebody on the phone, you know, do I want to sound like I'm having the best day of my life? Yeah, I want to be like, dude, how are you doing today? So glad to hear from you, man. This is Ian with Paragon Honda. I was calling for XYZ. We'll go over that. But this moral authority, if I honestly feel like in branding and marketing and everything you do, if you are making your mind attractive to the market, your frequency attractive to the market, I just feel like all kinds of shit starts to come your way. You know what I mean? Like you will attract
a new level. You will attract a new level of customers. Next, look like you take care of yourself. You guys all like dress good and look good. Next level is make sure your mentality is dressed good and looks good, right? Like, you know, your suit, your brain's got to be wearing. How do you guys feel when you guys show up in suits? Pretty damn good, huh? Okay, like imagine your mind shows up as a suit because you're learning a new skill. Remember we talked about those books? Got to read some of those books. You know what I mean? It'll make your mind stronger, okay? Look like you make good decisions. Super easy. You guys already do that. Speak with familiarity to everyone. This is so key, dude. When I'm with somebody, man, it doesn't matter who they are. Honestly, me and Evan have done this for like our whole lives this way. Whenever we've talked to an owner, whatever business that we've been in, whoever we're ever talking to, we just speak to them like we've known them for 20 years. You guys ever do that? Yeah. You guys ever meet the people that are like, they speak in like lawyer and like dictionary and shit? That they're like, how are you today? You know? Dude, I don't know how you guys talk, but when I'm on the phone, we can call clients right now. We can hit the CRM. If I'm calling a client, I'm like this. I'm like, hey man, hopefully you're having the best day of your life. How you doing today? You doing great? What's going on with you? Hey, how's your kids? How's everybody? Where are you guys at today? Oh, you're down at the restaurant? Which restaurant you at, man? I'm coming down there to see you guys. See, when I'm smiling, are they smiling? Hey, if I'm smiling over the phone, you think they're smiling? Yeah, of course. Yeah, man. How many people are making phone calls sitting down? How many people are making phone calls with the doubt, the fear, and the enemy in their mind? How many people aren't making phone calls with their energy up? Do you make better decisions when you got higher energy or low energy? High. So when you're on the phone, are you standing up? Are you like this? Like, yeah, I'm about to make this call. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, just that. Do you think that changes your phone calls? Yeah, dude. So listen, man, you got to speak to familiarity, like that you've known them forever. When they come in, I'm like, bro, look how you dress, man. Jeez, dude, those shoes are good, man. Dude, what do you do for a living, man? He's telling me I'm having fun with him. I'm like, dude, no way, man. Gosh, man, you're clean, bro. Hey, your kids too. These kids are amazing. What are these kids' names? Like they're family, right? That's a skill set, man. A lot of people don't have that. All right, look, walk, and speak like leader, man. They can tell who the leader is. When you walk into a company, you can kind of see in somebody's eyes who's making the most money. You can see who's sure of themselves. You can see who's struggling, man. It's a real deal. You can see who's tired. You guys can see it in their eyes, can't you? Don't we read people for a living? Do you guys see that in your other salespeople? Do you see that in the people in this room? Okay? Do you see it within your store? You can see who's the leader. You can see who's the expert. Have you guys ever walked into a restaurant and you can tell that that's the owner of the restaurant? Can you? Yeah. Can you tell that like whoever is the best the best waiter in the store, right when they walk in, the way they take care of themselves? Can you feel that? That's moral authority. You can feel it within that person. You're like, this guy's like, he's on it, man. Robert. You want him to feel that way. Robert?
Yeah, we met this guy named Robert.
Where?
High energy guy. He was like, look, the way he carried himself. Yesterday when we arrived, we were in the shuttle. He was looking at us, we were talking about New York, and his energy, the way he presented himself, he pitched himself to us. He was like, hey, look, my name is Robert, whatever, if you guys ever need anything, he networked with us.
Yeah.
He was, everything that
he was bringing it.
He brought it.
I love that, dude. Look at him. He's driving a shuttle, bro, and he's trying harder than most people in sales. Isn't that crazy? Hey, you know what I'm thinking when you say that? How many people are not doing this shit that's your competition? Y'all know your competition ain't doing none of this shit. You know they don't give a fuck about any of this, what we're talking about. Dude, they're not talking, they're just dead bobs. So the people you guys are competing with, they're not the people I competed with 10 years ago. When I competed with people 10 years ago, it was like when Brian was a sales manager and actually gave, like those guys gave a shit because it was like their whole life. That's what we lived, right? It was like we had salespeople that were like all dogs, right? Like everybody had this, so you had to compete. Like I watched salespeople, when me and my brother would go across the street to sales floors and we would steal their customers off the showroom floor and we would fight salespeople for customers because like that was the mentality. It was like, bro, we're getting a customer today or we're going over to that Honda store and we're gonna get all their customers. Like that was the mentality, right? Nowadays they're just like, I don't care if I sell a car.
And it's okay to not sell one.
It's no big deal. I'm like, it's no big deal to sell. You don't want to sell one a day. Like one a day ain't even that's that hard. Okay. All right. Last couple things. Good vibes sell. Honestly though, if we just looked at this word good vibes, a lot of people don't know how to bring that to their team, to their families, to their lives. Think about the future you. What do you guys want to do in 2 years? What's your goals? Shout them out to me. What's your goal in 2 years? What's your goals? 2 years. Huh?
Sales manager.
Sales manager? What else?
F&I.
F&I? Okay. Do you guys want to be known? Do you like, all right, when I think of my life, when I was on the sales floor, I'm like, man, I want to go to this next level position. Do you want to be able to talk about the position that you're currently doing and with a surety be able to be like, bro, I brought that shit. I created those good vibes. Do you want to create a name for yourself in the role that you're doing now that like you did the right thing, man? You also helped other people. Do you want to create that role? Okay. If you go and become a sales manager, do you want 5 other salespeople that are currently on the floor to be like, I want to go work deals with him because I watched how he did it. I actually watched and I know what he was about. They're watching, like you're creating your story right now. A lot of people they have no clue what story they're creating. They have no clue they're creating a negative story. Nobody wants to be around them. They're fucking half-assing shit. And then they're like, I don't know why I'm 40 years old and have what I have. You know, who's the oldest guy in the room right now?
Calvin's old ass.
How old? Okay, Calvin, how many 40-year-olds do you know that wake up 40 years old and they don't have shit to show for it?
A lot.
Lot, right? Okay, some of you guys are younger. What I'm telling you right now is if you want to wake up 40 years old, I mean, I know Paragon Honda has created lots of millionaires. Like for real, millions of dollars of wealth, right? You can hit a rock in your store with somebody who's made millions in y'all's store. If you want to create a name for yourself, you're creating it right now. Like you know you're in your story right now, right?
It doesn't feel like it at times.
It doesn't, because sometimes it just feels like it's just the same old day or whatever. But like, I used to go back in my mind, like I'm going back in my mindset, or like even now I'm like, we got to create a story today. We got to create these clients today. We got to create these experiences today. We got to create these vibes today. When we went out and were throwing those eggs in the parking lot, that might sound stupid to you guys, but that was like 6 months ago. Our company still talks about that every day. Like they're like, oh dude, you remember when you guys used to fucking throw eggs and do this? A lot of the things that you're going to do hard today, or whatever they are, you're going to look back, you know, a year from now and they're going to sound way cooler. Think about your past, think about your current self, and think about something that happened 5 years ago. You embellish the past to sound way bigger than it is. Like, oh fuck man, remember when we did all this shit? And maybe it wasn't even that cool at that time, but think about the stories you're creating within your customers, within what you're doing. 2 years from now when you're the manager, it's going to sound way cooler. Does that make sense? So imagine if you give more right now and create this story when you're the manager and you need all the salespeople because your check relies on them being crazy. Imagine when you're able to be like, bro, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And they're like, oh shit, that guy really did that shit, right? So right now, is it not important to do that if you guys all want to become managers and go to the next level? It's important, right?
I think about all the time.
Huh?
That's what I think about all the time.
You got to, man. All right. All right, good. All right, last thing. All right, the power of putting yourself in the client's shoes. All right. You have to understand a couple of things here. Limiting beliefs, empathy for a struggle that they have. A customer comes in, man, they can't maybe afford the payment. Instead of a salesperson empathizing with them and saying, hey man, how can you afford the payment? They may say, oh, they're like, it's $550. You're like, bro, it's just $550. I'm like, hey man, listen dude, I know that you work hard, man. I know that this is important to you to get the car. And I know that your bills are really important and this is a big purchase for you. Is a car that they're purchasing, is it not one of the biggest purchases of their life? Okay, would we want to empathize with them or just try to hard close them at that point? Yeah, we might want to say, hey, listen, dude, this is going to be big for you. Listen, where else can we cut costs? You want to go through your bills together? Hey, what are you paying at T-Mobile? Should we call T-Mobile and see if we can get you a lower payment? Do you have other lines that you don't need to be using? Are you eating out somewhere where I could teach you how to meal prep or something? Like, you know that this car is going to do this, this, and this for your needs, okay? Is there ways that you can make more money? Is there ways that I can help you? Is there something that I know that you don't know that I can help you with, right? You know, a lot of people have limiting beliefs, dude. A lot of people are like, they're frozen. Our goal is to give them a new way of thinking. Our goal is when we're with them, they're like, man, you know what? Shit, dude, there is something else I could do. There is, there is something else that I could do to achieve this goal and maybe hit this next level, right? Seeing what scares them and what motivates them. You know, in sales, a lot of people aren't even seeing what scares them or seeing what motivates them. I could say, dude, listen, you told me that you going on a camping trip with your family was the most important thing. Is that true? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so are we gonna skip the camping trip for $100 a month? Are we not gonna go on this camping trip? The most important thing in your life is memories, right? Think of you guys. Think about any really cool memories you have. Are those more important than money right now? Like if I could go back and be 20 again, I'd give up all the money that I could to go back and be 20 again, to live the current life, to understand that like my 20s, I could have had more exciting experiences, right? If you're with your kids right now and you were able to go camping and have all these fun experiences, is that not worth more than money? Those experiences with them, right? I'm gonna say, dude, you driving in that Honda Pilot, you told me that you're gonna take them snowboarding, you told me that you're gonna take them to do this, you told me that you're gonna take them to do that. Are we gonna skip out on that for $100 a month? Come on, man, you need to cancel a dinner. One dinner is gonna pay for that, right? Is that what really motivates him? I don't know. Did you really get to know him? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. Did you really get to know him? Whatever they're doing with the car, you gotta understand like, what's motivating that purchase, you know? My brother's getting a bigger SUV because he's having another baby, right? He's getting ready to have a baby like now, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, you can't have the baby till Paragon Honda leaves, dog. We got a lot of work to do, you know?
Naming the baby Calvin.
Yo. Egghead ass Calvin, that's what you should name him. Oh, Egghead Calvin. Hey, he like that shit. He wants to talk shit. Hey, I bet you he's a professional shit talker. Yeah, he's a professional shit talker, huh?
That loud ass laugh has to.
Hey, if you got to laugh like that, you got to talk shit, dude, for a living, dude. He'd be like, ah, motherfucker, see that shit? I be telling your ugly ass that shit. Hey, but think about that. Maybe when you're talking to them, they're getting ready to have a baby 2 months from now, and you can say, dude, what's it gonna feel like when you bring your wife home in this vehicle, this bigger vehicle, this one where she can get to know the car? What if Evan would have had a salesperson 2 months ago say, hey, dude, you know, how does your wife tip when she's driving? I mean, you know, I see that you guys got a couple little dings on the curb.
3 cars from the same dealership, bro, but I've never gotten a call from my guy, and he follows me online.
Yeah, we've never gotten a call from that dealer.
Never calls me, bro.
Yeah, and dude, we buy a lot. We've actually bought like 5 or 6 cars from that dealer. And they've never called. They've never even called to just say, hey, how you doing?
No,
how's the car?
I'm obligated to do business with them because they were my homies.
They were one of our homies. But listen, I want to give you guys a little frame and one here, like a motivational frame of like a customer. He's in there, his wife's having a baby, he pulls up, he's thinking about doing business. You know, you're walking around the car, you see the car's got a little scuffs on the rims because the chicks are driving it. Typically, they probably hit a couple curbs or the curbs hit them. You know what I'm saying? They're always like, the curb jumped out at me. I'm like, yeah, okay. When I'm talking to him and he's talking about, you know, getting that baby into the car and that sort of thing, maybe I go grab the baby seat and I'm like, hey, let's put the baby seat in here. Let's figure out how it feels, right? Like, let's load up, maybe a couple of us, maybe I'll grab a sales guy or two and we sit in here and like see how it's gonna feel, right? I'm talking about what motivates him. And then he's like, yeah, dude, my wife, like, you know, he might talk about her driving habits. And that might be my closing tool that I can say at the end when he's freezing up a little bit. I could say, listen, man, you know, I know that the baby's not coming for 60 days, but would we buy the car earlier to be prepared so she can drive a car in the neighborhood, get used to the car? This is a different size of a vehicle, okay? Safety is important to you. I know it is. You're a dad. You know, her driving the car in the neighborhood, wouldn't that be more important right now than getting the car 3 days before you're going to have a baby, 2 days before you're going to have a baby? Like, we want to make sure she's good to go, right? Okay, we want to make sure the other kids are adjusted to the car. We want to make sure that the car seats are good. When you get that new car seat, I want you to bring it down here so me and you can unbox it and put it in the car and make sure it's right. Dude, I'm Honda certified on all that shit, right? You know, I don't know if y'all are, but I'd say some shit like that, you know? But could you guys do that? Do you think that would be a little bit different than being like, hey man, buy the car, you know, your wife's pregnant. Why wouldn't you want to buy the car now? Like, that don't really motivate them, right? But saying, hey man, this is going to be a very important experience in your life. I don't want it to be stressful. I want you guys to be able to get the car, be able to drive the car before the baby comes, be able to have all these things set, and then I want to be the person that helps you facilitate all this, okay? I also know getting the car seats in here, the kids, all of these different things, if we need to do any of that, I'm here for you guys. Do you guys feel that like more of like a relational approach? A lot of salespeople ain't doing that. What are they doing? Nowadays, since all the COVID shit happened, they're like, bro, you want to buy the car or not? Like, that's who y'all are competing with. I'm just telling you, dude. Like, even when I'm talking about the competition, they're like, I was just down the street. I'm like, listen, I don't even need to talk about them. I already know that, you know, I'm probably going to bring a level of care to you today that might shock you. So if I'm a little much, let me know, because I actually really care about what I do. So I'm going to try to solve every question for you. I'm going to help you in anything you need to know. And I'm going to present to you just some ideas probably along this journey that you haven't thought about. And one of those ideas might be when he says something, I make an action, I make a move, because he says, man, I don't have my kids here today. I wish they could sit in it. I'm like, well, where are they going to be later today? They're going to be at your house. You want me to swing it by? You know, maybe you get to the end of the sale and you end up wanting to purchase it today, or maybe you want me to come over and bring it over and I'll bring dinner. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things, those experiences that we're looking to try to create with these people if you're really looking to build a good long-term business. Last thing I'm going to say, if I could go back and do it all again, the one thing that I'm very, very proud of is me and my brother lived this shit, right? And if I could go back, I would even more emphasize the customer experience, because salespeople weren't really focused on that. Naturally, we were focused on it a lot more than other people, so we naturally won at a higher level, but I would have really, really aimed to exceed their expectations every time. And it sounds so vanilla, like, oh, the customer expectations, you know, like that sort of shit. But guys, those are the people that are going to send you the referrals. Ultimately, what do we all want in sales? We want referrals, bro, right? Like, that's the greatest thing that you can ever get is a referral. Huh?
Passive income.
Bro, passive income. You know what I mean? You know, but a lot of people, you know what they're going to do? They're like, I want to go invest in real estate. I'm like, how about you fucking invest in your customers, bro? Your customers are real estate. And if you're investing in your customers to their experience where they're providing you other customers, imagine if you went out and put $20,000 down in a house. Yeah, that house probably ain't gonna yield you money for maybe a couple of years, right? But imagine that $20,000, if you invested $2,000 a month in customer service, you'd be making 3 to 4x that money within 2 to 3 months. Which would be better? For me, it'd be customer experience. I'd much rather invest in them. And I know that it's gonna pay off in the future just based on taking care of people at a really high level. All right, guys, you're the true 1%ers. You made it to the end of the video. Let's go. Like, comment, so we know who you are down below, and then share this video to somebody else who needs it. And also turn your notifications on, because we got the fire coming every single day. Amazing. We'll see you at the next video. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.